Top of the Sportsmax Zone for this Monday. When the Hero CPL moved to Guyana for the climactic leg, the home team Amazon Warriors were at the foot of the 16 table on 3 points from 6 matches. At that stage, the Warriors were in danger of sullying their record of being one of only a few teams never to have missed the playoffs in the CPL's 10-year history. But a series of inspired performances propelled Shimron Hetmyer's men to 4 straight victories and a second-place finish at the end of the preliminary stage of the tournament. Their 4th win came on Sunday against table toppers Barbados Royals at Providence. Let's take a look at those highlights now.
Highlights of this innings. Carl Mears went early. In fact, the first ball he faced on the pitch that was doing a bit, as you heard from Kimo Paul. Fresh surface that was followed by Kimo Paul's first natter for
Tim over, double wicket strike from Kimo Paul. Harry Tector, the man dismissed. Jason Holder came, got off a couple boundaries. Hero maximum Azam Khan. But a chance, difficult one, nonetheless, from Imran Tahir. Couldn't hold on to that return. Not a difficult opportunity down the leg side. Ramanola Gurbaz unable to hold on. Just some glove on that from Jason Holder. Azam Khan continued to find the boundary. Good range hitting from Pakistani. Then this happened. Miscommunication. Was simple enough run out for Odin Smith to break that partnership. A crucial wicket at a crucial time.
Zadran had an inauspicious beginning, as Gurbaz did, as Shakib did in the tournament. Jason Holder continued to strike a few lusty blows. Devon Thomas pulled out to deep square. With Kishmoti safe hands. Holder once again looked as though he could take the battle on his own, but then he was caught at long on, and the Manta here was off to the races. Shepherd continued making inroads, getting Joshua Bishop. Obed Paul followed after a couple of nice shots. And then the final nail in the coffin, Eugene, the Kimo forward. So the Royals 125 all out on a fresh surface. Contributions mainly from the seamers. And can Jason Holder and Ramon Simmons and company defend this? 126 to get off 20 overs. The asking rate for the Warriors just a touch under 6.5 per over.
Highlights of the run chase, 126 to win, and Chanderpaul Hemraj went quite meekly at the top, caught comfortably by Mujib at point. Partnership then between Shea Hope and Ramanullah Gurbaz before Hope was undone by a goodie from Jason Holder. And in this partnership, after being 2 for 18, took the score through to 97. Shakib was the more aggressive of the two, and Ramanullah Gurbaz basically had a comfortable seat at the other end of the crease, other end of the pitch, as Shakib played the ball to all parts. Picked up another half century, 50 here, a fabulous back cut over a wide third, and then was dismissed, hitting ball high into the leg side. Najibullah Zadran with a very good catch running in from that mid-wicket boundary. Hetmyer hit a couple of boundaries early on in his innings, both in the same sort of direction, and then was trapped LBW to Mujib. A very good one and a comfortable decision as well. He knew it, didn't review it, and just wandered off. That brought Kimo Paul to the crease. He joined Gurbaz. Hit a big 6, and then Ramanullah Gurbaz with just a couple to win. Nicked one behind to Devon Thomas, who took a really good catch off the bowling of Obed McCoy. And then the winning wide, courtesy of Obed McCoy. Too high, and that was it for the Guyana Amazon Warriors. They have thrilled their crowd 4 nights in a row. 4 wins in a row, I should say, over the span of 5 nights. And has been a terrific performance from Shimron Hetmyer his coaching staff and his players.
I really have that good feeling. I think now I can actually sit down with a smile on my face knowing that I think that we have found a platform in how to play and how we want to play. I think the guys, they keep standing up for us in different situations. Sometimes there's the spinners, sometimes there's the seamers. Tonight there was the seamers night. I think the seamers, they came in and they did a fantastic job with them not really bowling as much. They really executed well.
Well, Sunday's victory saw the Amazon Warriors finish with 11 points, 5 behind table toppers Barbados Royals on 16. St. Lucia Kings and the Jamaica Tallawahs had their final match abandoned due to rain on Sunday, but they both advanced on 9 points each. The Patriots on 8 failed to advance, as did the Trinbago Knight Riders, who are missing the playoffs for the first time in tournament history. Now, on Tuesday morning, the Warriors and Royals will meet again. The winner of that match will advance to the final. That's a qualifier one. The loser will face the winner of the eliminator match between the Kings and the Tallawahs to decide the other finalists. So, George, real excitement in the Providence Stadium with the Guyanese coming out in thousands to support their team. And you have to say that given their current form, they have propelled themselves into, I would say, at least joint favourite positions with the Royals for the title.
Well, they are the hot team going in, and as we spoke about this earlier in the tournament. What do you want to be? Do you want to be the team that is flagging just as you are going into the playoffs, or do you want to be roaring into the playoffs? And the Warriors are the team roaring into the playoffs, especially after they've taken down the team that was by far the best in the preliminary stage, the Royals. Those two look like the two best teams, well, without doubt, the two best teams in the competition, the two most consistent teams. And you get the sense that at no point were any of the boys from the Amazon Warriors panicking with their position in the table, because they said, well, St. Lucia had their time in St. Lucia, the Kings, the Knight Riders had their time in TNT. We're going to have our time in Guyana, and that's where we're going to turn on the thrills, and that's where they did turn on the thrills. 4 very, very good wins.
Yeah, 4 on the trot, so their 4-game unbeaten run is bettered as an unbeaten streak only by the Royals, who had played their first 6 matches undefeated in this tournament. A lot of analysis going into the resurgence of this Guyana Amazon Warriors team and the confidence that Shimron Hetmyer has portrayed into his team and the team's performance. I know one of our voice notes last week had suggested that Shimron Hetmyer should be the captain of the West Indies T20 team, and my position then, George, I have a lot of time for Shimron Hetmyer, and I'm not disagreeing with that point in principle, because I think he has a good cricketing brain, but Shimron hasn't presented himself based on his failed fitness tests and so on as a legitimate captain for the West Indies team at the moment, but I'm still looking for him to assume that position sometime in the future, because I think this is a player who has genuine star quality, and if he applies himself the way we know he can, I think he has a bright future ahead of him.
A lot of people who matter, the reason they are disappointed with Shimron Hetmyer and the incidents with him not being fit enough for West Indies teams and failing fitness tests is perhaps a sum total of what you just said. The man has obvious ability with the bat in hand, and then the boy has a good cricketing brain. There's no doubt about that from a junior to now. And when people saw him threaten to fritter away his career as a West Indian in favor of the lucrative big money T20s that he is certain to get picked for once he's available, then people were upset with that, and that is what caused the particular angst to say, why is a man who has been given so much by the cricketing gods just wasting it away? To see him on track now and doing his thing, doing his stuff, strutting his stuff, and being the peacock, the cricketing peacock that people know he is pleasing to many. And I will say to you, different captains have different leadership styles. Pollard when his team is playing well and he's marshalling well, he's a stern taskmaster. Of course he can relax and let his hair down as well. Hetmyer is different. I saw a couple of incidents in the field when they were playing TKR on the weekend. I was watching that game very intently for obvious reasons, to see if TKR could revive themselves and get into the playoffs. Yeah. And there were a couple of misfields on the boundary. The sweeper allowing, I think it was Odean Smith a couple of times, it was wet, so he was sliding around and not positioning himself to field properly in the orthodox way you are taught was a cricketer. And Hetmyer signaled to him, didn't give him the death stare, but gave him enough to make him aware that you need to do better. But no angry face. So I use that to say, well, here he is imposing his leadership on the team, not in an overly aggressive way, not in a warlord way, not that the warlord overlord way doesn't work, because it works sometimes, but he's not that kind of guy. And I see a team that's playing very well under him and responding to what he demands, given the situation that the Warriors find themselves in.
Yeah, you mentioned the TKR a short while ago, George, and I would suggest that the TKR's horrific season illustrates once again that sport isn't played on paper, it's what you do on the field. Because I was always a TKR supporter, and then having seen Andre Russell and Pooran join the TKR, if you were a TKR supporter before, then it is only enhanced if you beef up on paper with quality or talent like Pooran and Andre Russell, but they just didn't play well. From last week, I think I had accepted that this TKR team wasn't going to deliver the kind of performances that we thought they would, and they have been awful.
Yeah, one thing I'd say quickly, it's difficult in this day and age in cricket, especially with the white ball cricket and so much of it, for anybody in a team to really criticize anybody for getting out cheaply, because most players get out cheaply, so you have no local standard, you have no moral authority to tell someone that they gave their wicket away.
Yeah.
But on the weekend, TKR versus Amazon Warriors, you would have seen me put it in our chat group. Samit Patel, I thought he gave away the game against the Warriors. He was set, finding singles at will lands, putting the bad balls away.
And they were on course.
And then he played a shot so poor, I can't bat to save my life.
Yeah.
I would have played a better shot than that. I was shocked. And he was so furious with himself, because usually you get out, you walk off, and he was furious because he knew that I threw it away, and then it just all went down. Had he stayed, I think the TKR would have gotten it, if not closer to that target, would have won that game, because they had the game in their command.
Yeah.
But he threw it away.
Yeah, but I think Polly said it best. They didn't deserve to get to the playoffs,
there you go.
because they played a rotten series in the Hero CPL tournament. So we're now down to the playoffs, of course. 2 matches to be played on Tuesday. Qualifier 1 has the Royals against the Warriors, and that is the early game, is it? The morning game at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, local time, 9 o'clock in Jamaica. Then in the evening game, eliminator, game between the Kings and the Tallawahs, 3rd against 4th there. And both these matches will be live on Sportsmax. And the loser of qualifier 1 to play the winner of eliminator match on Wednesday to see who gets through to the final, which will be already seeing the team that wins qualifier 1 early Tuesday morning. So that is the bracket for the playoffs in the CPL Hero 2022 competition, and it's really, really hot. Tremendous crowd support and adrenaline in Providence for the tournament, and pretty hot cricket left to go in the CPL. Back with more on the Sportsmax Zone after this.
Put up your one, put up your one.